Okay, Brock, this is going to explain what's going on with your front side rotation. And I'm going to use Noah as an example for you, both of you guys being from the back side here, but this is going to illustrate my point. So you need to think about it like this. You're only on one leg right now. You're on the back leg, okay? And the hip is attached to the back leg, right? So whatever direction my hip is going to be moved is a direct result of what my back leg action is doing. Now, I've talked to you about this a few times with your leg drive being more of a let me sit down and then jump out of it kind of motion rather than moving in a smooth side drive sort of motion. And you're getting better with it, but this is the last part of it right here. You are going to extend off your back leg too early, and then you're going to cause your front hip to rotate too early because of what your back leg action is doing. So I want you to pay special attention to what's going to happen from this moment on in your motion, because up until that point, you and Noah are pretty much synced up how you should be. Everything's closed on both sides here, right? His foot's closed, your foot is closed, everything's good, all right? So on your side here, we're going to see the back leg extend out, and at the same time it's doing that, you're going to see the front foot start to open. And then you're going to see yourself kind of jump a little bit. So it looks like your back leg is doing a little hop forward right there. And you'll see, look at your front foot, how it's already opened, and look at your back leg, how it's fully extended off that rubber behind you. Now, it needs to feel more like you're keeping pressure in the ground longer while you're driving. And if that means that you stride a little bit shorter for the time being, then that's fine, because it's important for us to stride long and be at like 100% of our height, or sometimes a little bit more. But you have to be able to manage that stride. So if it's causing you to rotate early, 80% of our velocity is going to come from that rotation anyways. So we need to be able to control our landing and our rotation at the end. So there becomes a point, like a diminishing return point, where you're trying to get far out there, but it's not going to end up helping you when you get down the mountain. So that's what's going on here in your case for right now. Noah's going to keep pressure in the ground. So you're going to see his back toe engaged in the ground more than yours during this part. And it's going to look like his back leg is extending but also turning in. Yours is going to look like it's extending straight out, and then you're going to see it kind of turn in, but you're already too open. So you're going to see your front foot. If you go in on your front foot, you're going to see how it's open right here. It's pointing offline as you're landed. And another good indicator of what's going on here is at this point where you're up at 90 degrees, you're going to see how your back foot is already turned all the way over. And it shouldn't necessarily be all the way turned over yet. This is really good that you're able to separate your hips and your shoulders during rotation like this. But you don't want to be this far with that back foot, that back hip rotation already, okay? You're going to see Noah's is going to be more like he's turned over and he's on his big toe at this point. So he's driven everything he could out of his back leg when he's up at the same point as you, but he hasn't jumped off that leg and then rotated his hips all the way around before landing, and that's what you're doing. So this whole what you're seeing it as is, hey, I'm not keeping my front side closed, but what's actually happening is, hey, you're not keeping your back leg engaged to the ground long enough. Your back foot and your back leg needs to be driving and staying. Your foot needs to be staying in the ground. You can't jump off of it, all right, and then basically leap off of your back toe and cause your front hip to come around too early when you're at landing. That's what's going on with you. I hope that makes sense. So if you watch yourself from the side too, you're going to see that your back leg's going to fully extend. You're going to see your hip open, like right there, you're all the way open. You shouldn't be all the way open right here, and you wouldn't be all the way open right here if you haven't jumped already. So if you look right here, you've already jumped off the ground. We're engaged. We're pushing. We're pushing. We're pushing. Right here, you're going to jump. Jump, jump. See how you're to the inside of your back foot? That shouldn't be like that. What should be happening, watch how this back foot's going to peel here. Noah's pushing, 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 pushing. He's going to stay engaged in the ground, and you're going to see his heel come up and his leg start to turn. So he's going to go to the inside of his back toe, and you're going to see the heel come to the camera. You are going to drift the other way. You're going to see the New Balance logo is going to drift away from the camera. So your heel basically is dragging right now. And then you're going to turn over and get to your back foot. So you're going to drag kind of in a little like S direction. You're going to go basically this way with your drag, and Noah's is just going to go straight. Okay? And the reasoning is you're going to pull, your heel's going to get pulled off first, and then your toe's going to get pulled off. Well, he is going to rotate inward because he's staying engaged with his big toe, his back toe. He's going to rotate inward and then go forward. So the only thing you need to think of, man, is keep my foot in the ground the whole time that I'm driving, which means you're probably going to cut your stride down by about 3 or 4 inches. All right? So just kind of keep that in mind. Draw a line in the ground, push to that line, make sure that that line's shorter than what you're used to striding out, and feel your back foot stay in the ground. That'll handle it. That's it.